2-0 to Arsenal. Let's do player ratings. Let's run through it. Let's start with David Raya. Lee.
I'm going to have to give him 10 out of 10 today. I really am. I don't really give out too many 10 out of 10s, but I don't think he put a foot wrong. He might if I be really harsh on him, he may have could have tipped the one over the bar before the save, but the save itself, I think, was sensational. I have to say that. I've watched it a couple of times. It's a goal all day long. And and I thought everything he done today, his handling and all that, I don't think he put a foot wrong, so I'm going to have to give him 10.
Right, but keep in mind we've got to give him man of the match at some point. So you started high here. 10?
Yeah.
Would you agree with a 10?
I would agree. And on the part that Lee said, should he have tipped it over the bar? He actually had it covered. He didn't touch it and he didn't put it onto the bar, but had it been a little bit lower, he would have pushed it onto the bar because he had it covered. And then, to be able to get up to make that save was phenomenal. And also, the player that actually, I wouldn't call it a miss, that he got saved for, it was Duran, was it?
Duran, yeah.
Duran. He's only second to Haaland with minutes on the pitch to goals for any player in the Premier League.
What's that got to do with players' ratings?
No, well, I'll tell you what it is, that you haven't got you haven't got someone in front of goal that's a clown, that's just a bad miss. That wasn't a bad miss. The guy's good in front of goal. He headed the ball to the side.
None of them are clowns, though. Ollie Watkins not clown, but he had a big miss.
No, he did, but it wasn't a bad miss. It was a phenomenal save, is the point I'm trying to make. So I would say yes, 10. I agree with Lee.
You agree with Lee? Good. Right back, Ben White.
Ben White, I would say a 7.
7?
Yeah, he wasn't. I can't say it was terrible. It was above average because for me, an average score is a 5.
Yeah,
he was good. He just wasn't standout. It was more of a case of when the other players who obviously come onto are in similar positions that stand out, then you can't give them the same marks. You've got to differentiate somehow.
Mate, that's a good explanation for it. 7?
Yeah, very sure. 8 for me.
Okay. Why? Why was it
different? Clean sheet. Didn't really get terrorised down that side. And when you come to a top 4 side and keep a clean sheet, everybody in that unit has had to play very, very well, and he did today. I thought we defended well. Never really got exposed, and there was a couple of times when he could have done. That winger that come on was very, very quick, but he got back, got a tackle in and all that. Listen, good performance for him.
Good performance. I can't even gauge it with 8 or 7. I think I'll let the comments decide because there's not much difference in it, and he had played very well today. Let's go to William Saliba, Lee.
Listen, I thought he was outstanding today. But I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 because there was a couple of things that he didn't do right, but the tackle, that it wasn't just a tackle, it was the way he got across there and everything. He's a class act, class act, and he's an 8 or 9 out of 10 most weeks, and today I think on field definitely the man of the match because I thought he was brilliant today, but 9 out of 10 for me.
William Saliba, agree with the 9 out of 10, Julian?
Well, for me, I saw it as a 10 out of 10, but I didn't see anything. I mean, Lee said that he didn't do a few things right. I'm obviously not watching the game as intensely as Lee because I missed it, so I'm intrigued in what you saw him do wrong.
Well, I know it's just a couple of things that a couple of passes weren't great. Sometimes I felt he got too tight to Ollie Watkins at the time to make it a perfect performance. Give away a couple of little fouls that he shouldn't have done. But listen, that's what centre halves do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not saying that. Listen, I think he was outstanding.
Yeah, giving him a 9. It's not. You're not criticising.
I just don't think it was a perfect performance, which is very, very hard, by the way, to get a perfect performance.
But Raya's was for you, which makes sense.
Well, Raya, everything that Raya done, he done well. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You know what I mean? He wasn't tested as. If I be really honest, he wasn't tested as much as.
But when he was,
don't forget Ollie Watkins is a top player as well. He had his work cut out, and also Ollie Watkins had an open goal. Where was our defence? I think it was a little bit. Gabriel, I thought was fouled, to be fair, but there's always criticism you can make of that. But at the end of the day, superb today.
So I'd agree. I'd give him a 9.
So
I'd give him a 9 because I couldn't. I missed the things he did wrong. But now you've pointed them out. I don't actually remember them, but I'm sure you're not making it up.
No, of course not.
Always tries to catch you out like that, mate.
You'd never do that, would you?
Let's go. Yeah, here we go. We're middle of player ratings.
Yeah, get out of my thing about player ratings. Where's this man going?
Martinelli one.
Where's this man going?
Yeah, I'll call you back for that.
Taking a couple of photos and that, and the guy comes and jumps off in the player ratings.
They said they wanted to do it.
All right, yeah, come.
No, it's all good.
Right.
We're on.
Where we at? What did you give
10
Raya?
for Raya.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Didn't put a foot wrong, he said.
Didn't put a foot wrong. That save, unbelievable.
Yep, okay.
What do you give Saliba?
9.
All right, I'll
Yep.
go with that. Yeah.
Okay. The next player was about to do. We did Ben White. Oh, you got
Ben White.
7 and 8. We did 7 and 8. We couldn't decide. You can
8.
decide.
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, I liked his performance. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Gabriel Magalhaes for you today, Robbie.
Oh, 7. There was that time when he made that. Was
That
it
was
a
a
foul?
foul.
I don't know. I'd need to see it back. But even though it might have been a foul, he kind of got caught. He didn't need to dwell on it so long. So I'd probably give him a 7. But he's a clean
You
sheet.
said it was a foul. Don't now
Yeah,
bail
I
down.
said it was a foul. I'm going to give him an 8 because I think, defensively, when you come away to one of the top 4 sides, as I said earlier on, you've got to defend well. Yeah, I did think it was a foul, but I think they kept a very, very good Aston Villa team very, very quiet to 1 or 2 chances. So for me, it's an 8.
I'll upgrade it to an 8. Yeah, you have got that. And that was only really the only one thing. I'd like to see it back, though. I'm not sure if it's a foul.
I need to watch it back. But let's go to the left back position where a lot of fans questioned. They said the difference is that it wasn't Zinchenko. I love Zinchenko as a player, but having Timber in today, what do you give him for his rating?
Listen, 8 out of 10 as well. I thought he was really, really good. Really, which was a pivotal point of the game is that when we was winning there, Calafiori come on as well. You can tell defensively they're going to go with that sort of side when we have games like this. Maybe Zinchenko at other times, but listen, I thought he come in, he defended well. Again, didn't get exposed in any shape or form. Built up a few attacks as well, and there was one time in the second half he was under the pump. He had to sprint back, got back, used his strength, defended very, very well today.
It kept Bailey quiet.
Yeah, he kept. Bailey was non-existent in the game. You know what I mean? I thought, it's 8's deserved. In these sort of away games, I think he's the perfect player to come, to play in that position. You know what I mean? At home, maybe when we're playing like last week at Wolves, you know what I mean? That's a Zinchenko game, but I think in this game when you're up against a quick, fast, tricky player like Bailey, Timber, we saw him in pre-season. He was brilliant, and he was brilliant again today. And what I like about him as well, I don't know if you noticed it, as well as inverting, but a lot of times he'd drop into centre back.
Yeah.
And even Gabriel would go out a bit wider. So he gives us a lot of options.
Yeah, very versatile. Okay, let's go into midfield. It hasn't split the fan base. It definitely hasn't. But some people are still concerned over Thomas Partey. But today, what'd you give him?
Well, I thought last week when I saw some people going on about Partey, I thought it was a bit ridiculous. The first game of the season,
I just had a fan on. I just had a fan on who said he wasn't that great in the first half today as well.
No, but he couldn't have been watching the same game because I thought he played really well. You know what I mean? He was playing some nice little passes in there. He was keeping it ticking. He was keeping it intricate. He scored a goal today. I thought he played really well today. That's probably one of the best performances I've seen from Thomas Partey for a long time. You know what I mean? And
I agree.
I think even with Marino coming in, he's going to have a big role to play. You know what I mean? He may not start.
Yeah.
It might be they drop Declan Rice back there. But like Kelechi said in his interview, competition for places, right? And, Marino's not really had a pre-season. He's not played any games pre-season. He's going to have to take a while to get up to speed. So we will see a lot of Thomas Partey. And I thought he was good today. I want to give him an 8.
I think that's fair. I think he went up another level today. What'd you give him?
It makes the game look easy, and I think people don't realise that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. So for me, 8 out of 10 today. It wasn't perfect because I think there's a couple of times he got out muscled by that Rodgers, but that was everyone did. They burst past everyone, So he was very impressive, by the way.
He was.
But so I thought he was good today, Partey. And I'll tell you what was the most important thing is that the last 10, 15 minutes of that game, when it could have got tricky, he didn't fade. He looked strong from the start to the end. So I thought it was a very accomplished performance from him today.
Those disguised forward passes he was doing was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had that much quality. I know he plays forward, but he's doing it.
He's a quality player. He can play deep and build up attacks.
Yeah, he's quality.
His passing range, as well as his strength. So
Yeah. Big up Partey. Let's go to our captain, Martin Odegaard.
Oh, I thought he done some very, very good things today. Some bits of skill and all that. Weren't at his best.
There was a pass he made to Saka when Saka missed that one round the
It
corner.
was sensational. It was sensational
He's got
pass. His ball retention in tight areas is fantastic. I think it was an 8 out of 10 today. But you know.
Do you still want more? Do you feel like you still
Oh,
want more?
yes, Martin. Yes, Martin. I
still
want a
will.
lot more from him. Like
Still
there was one today when he should have shot and he didn't. He's got to sort that out. But I thought today, his work rate, his leadership, I think has to be praised as well. Like I thought yeah, 8 out of 10 today.
Good performance, but I feel like we want
agree.
more.
I agree with the 8 out of 10. He played really well today. Should have scored though. When he had that chance, blasted that over the bar, right? He could have been up in the 9s, but you know, he should have scored that chance. You know, what I mean, I think if you look at it again, he has a defender just charging, tries to drop a block on him. So maybe that's why he rushed it. But he should have scored. A player of his quality maybe should have scored that. But he was brilliant. 8.
Declan Rice, Robbie.
I thought he was good today as well. You know, what I mean, he got an early booking, but he's still good. You know, what I mean, still his fitness levels were much better this week. And it was Declan Rice who's back to the old Declan, man. 8.
8 out of 10. Do you agree with that?
Oh, look, listen, he's my favourite. I love him. Declan, I love you. But I didn't think he was quite at it today. I think the booking might have stifled him a little bit. Like, and I'm going to say that Rodgers, again, I've not seen Declan Rice get a little bit overpowered like that. And I do think a fit, fresh, more ready Declan Rice would be up for that fight.
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite at the levels that he should be fitness-wise because of the England thing and all that. 7 out of 10 for me today.
7. Again, I'll throw that one to...
You know, I may defer.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're right. Rodgers.
Yeah.
But I thought later on in the game, Declan Rice, man, his energy levels, he was getting around the pitch, especially when he went 2-0 and we got to hold it. I thought he did. All right, I'll go with the 7.
7, yeah, because he's not the same as Partey today. He gave
7,
Partey an
7.
8, so I think
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
better.
Yeah, let's go to Bukayo Saka, Robbie.
Quietish game for Saka today, but he still had an assist. And this is what
I feel like you
makes
say
him-
this. We say this
I say
every
week, you know, because he's just got so much quality about him, you know what I mean? So I'll probably give him a 7,
Yeah.
right? But he was still quality.
Yeah. Okay. 7 for Saka.
I think all the front three, if I'll be really honest, were quiet today because I think they stifled us the way that they set out to do us and all that. Yeah. But he's got that little bit of quality. He has got that little bit of thing, and another assist, and it was a vital assist as well. So I'm going to give him 7 today, but I don't think he was at his best.
Okay. Kai Havertz, Lee.
7 again.
What was my result? Oh yeah, I gave it 7.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julian.
So I'm not just.
No, I think I think Havertz worked hard today. Again, I felt he was stifled by their 2 very, very good. Villa, very, very good defensively.
Yeah.
Very, very good defensively they were today, and I felt that we found it very, very hard. But he worked hard. He didn't have any real chances today, but worked hard. 7 out of 10.
7 for Kai Havertz.
I agree with that. I agree. I'm getting stick off of them Villa fans, but yeah, I agree with that. 7.
7. Okay. I want to bring in Julian as well. You stay, because it's Martinelli. Look at him. Martinelli, Julian.
All right, I was going to give him this way.
No.
Right, I was going to give him a slightly higher mark, but I've kind of had a look at a little bit more about the stats of the game.
you had to read up.
What was your opinion?
My eye test was that he got a 7. That's what I felt. And the reason that I thought that people were a little bit dismissive of his performance was more the way that Villa set up. They weren't very adventurous and they defended a lot deeper, which I felt did stifle the game, and he wasn't able to get round them. Now, Trossard comes on, he scores with his first touch. The game then opens up.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks, Trossard was so much better than Martinelli.
He was.
But he was. But you got to look at the reasons why he was, and he was because
Still deep when Trossard came on.
No, but all right. Trossard scored a good goal. The ball bounced to him. We were slightly lucky with that goal. It was actually the last touch was from Rodgers.
There's a lot of luck talk on here today.
We all love Gabriel Martinelli.
I do
yeah,
love
but he
him.
didn't have a good game today. He didn't have a good game today. I felt that he was quite ineffective. And that's when Trossard came on. He was effective, not just the goal, even after that. He had chances, right? And his finish was clinical. Look at the chance Ollie Watkins had, fluffed. The first touch, he buries it, right? So to me, you just got to hold, admit it. You don't need to look.
We're not talking about Trossard.
You don't.
Now.
Yeah,
we're
but
talking about Martinelli.
yeah, but I'm saying I don't think
yeah.
you need to look on stats to say that he had a poor game. I'd probably give him a 5 today. I know what you say, Lee, but that would be, he'll get better. It's only the second game. I'll give him a 5.
I'd give him a 6.
You said 7.
No, I was going to give him a 7.
7 for what?
No, I was
What?
going to give him a 7. I've read a little bit more about what
Yeah,
he actually did.
You have a look at the game sometimes. You don't
Okay,
have to
I
always,
watched the game. I was
haven't
there.
always got
I
to read the
I had
stats.
really good seats, nearly on the halfway line, quite a bit up, so I had a good
the
perspective of the
stats
game.
didn't.
Okay, the
You always
stats,
need the stats to know.
the eye test plus the stats, originally I thought it was a 7. I'll downgrade it to a 6, but I'll also say the mitigating circumstances were that when he was on the pitch, the way Villa were playing were far more defensive. They weren't defensive for a home team that apparently, according to
But
you, is one of the best Premier League
But they
teams.
were defensive when Trossard came on as well. They
and-
didn't change the shape.
No, they didn't, but we got a bit of the run of the green there. The ball fell
And
to
he
it.
buried it.
He buried it brilliant. And
Big pressure.
It was a great goal. But once we scored that goal, then Villa had to come out and it opened up. And had Martinelli been on the pitch at that point, I think we'd have seen more of him.
That is a fair point, but we don't know. We would never know. That is a fair point, but do you agree? So 6, 5.
I'm going to go 6, and the reason I'm going to go 6 is that,
at these
whether the game opens up or not, you're on there to do a job. Every time he got wide, I'm going to be honest, I'm getting a little bit worried about it now. Every time he got wide, he got into positions today, the ball was overcooked or undercooked. He's not quite at the levels that he was a couple of years ago. Now, hopefully, he'll get that. Second game, yeah, 100%. I'm not going to go. Oh, this is the thing. And I do agree that the game. Sometimes I remember there are games when like I think it was last season he come on in a game when you expect him to open up the game, and we was a goal down or something and he had to defend. Listen, his work rate, we're not questioning that, but it's when he gets into that final third, he had a right back against him that wasn't their first choice, by the way, and he didn't really skin him the way I wanted him to do.
Also, Lee, I think if you can't go outside him and skin him, your crosses need to be better, and he overhit literally every one today. So, he had a poor game. Well, I wouldn't say poor. I'd say an average game, you know what I mean? Because like you said, the one thing you can always guarantee off of him is work rate. He worked his socks off, you know what I mean? But,
And you've got to give credit to Villa. They defended really well,
Well,
up to the point where they conceded that goal.
Yeah, well, it's two average performances from Martinelli. We need a big one.
We have said that the three up front were kept very, very quiet by the front three were kept very, very quiet by.
A rat just ran underneath us.
Chuck it a bit of cheese, it'll be all right, aren't we? So yeah, like the front three were kept quiet today. But at the end of the day, he wasn't quite out today, and I think we expect a little bit more than what we're getting. I think that's fair.
Okay, let's run through the subs quickly. Start with one who didn't get too many minutes. Reece Nelson.
Didn't really have nothing to do, really. Again, worked hard. He made a couple of good runs. We got fouled for one and drew a foul and all that. Like 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
6.
Yeah, he didn't do it. You have to give him a 5 because he wasn't on the pitch long enough. Just an average performance.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Would have said 4. He said 5.
6. Yeah, two said 6. We'll go 6. Let's go Calafiori, Rob.
Yeah, actually, he did well when he came on. He won all his duels, won things aerially. He was good on the ball. Went on long, but I was very impressed. 7.
I'd give him an 8. And the reason I'd give him
the reason amount of time he was on.
Okay, but he did something that affected the game. He did something that affects the game. When he stood in front of, it's a little bit. We talk about the dark arts, but did you see what he did with
Emi Martinez and that? Yeah, he's holding on, and they're holding on to him.
holding on to him.
Yeah,
great defensive
Yeah, but you could
play.
say that Reece Nelson, like you said, he won. He did. He picked the ball up one time, was driving away, and drew a foul. That slowed the game right down, and you're giving him a 5.
Didn't see it. Didn't see that.
That's because he was looking at his notes. You know what I mean? So.
What did you give Calafiori?
7 out of 10. I thought what he done was great, and I like the dark arts and he defended.
Well, the defensive timing of his tackles, straight away you can see that his quality.
Yeah, so 7.
Yeah, 7 for me.
2 7s, 1 8, so 7. Reece Nelson. No, sorry. Trossard.
I'll give him a 9, and the reason being not because of it was the effect that he had on the game. He basically came on and won us the game. So just purely for that one moment, I'll give him a 9.
I'm going to actually agree with him for once in the whole thing. He deserves a 9. You know what I mean? That was a big moment, man. That was a big goal in a really tight game. Yeah. Chance falls to him, buries it. Clinical. Ollie Watkins, who's been clinical for Villa, wasn't. When it came to Trossard, he was, and that was the difference. And that 9, going on 10.
No celebration from him. Is he saying what more can I do?
I don't know if he's necessarily saying that. He's a team player. We saw that all last season. You know what I mean? So he's a team player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, 9.
9.
Bingo! We have a full house.
Finally, we agree on something.
We all
Yeah,
agree.
all agree.
Like, 9 out of 10, game changer. End of. One that's the game.
Okay.
That's it.
I believe that is all the subs. I hope it is.
Yeah.
And let's run quickly the referee today.
Yeah, I thought the referee.
Can't stand him.
Yeah, you might not can't stand him, but I don't think he was bad in the game.
Gave
you know
us
what
a
I
lot of
mean?
yellow. Actually, they had 1 yellow.
Yeah,
I think.
I'll give the referee a 7. I think the referee, the game was okay. There was no major incidents or nothing.
Yeah, I thought he refereed it okay. There was no, he let it flow as much as he could do, and he wasn't really sort of trigger happy when it comes to yellow cards.
Yeah, I think it was Michael Oliver.
Yeah, 5.
The manager today, Lee Judges.
Mikel Arteta, 8 out of 10. Got it spot on today, like, you know. I don't think he could make the changes sometimes that he wanted. And I'm going to say this now. Emery, you know, all this talk and everything like that, his changes affected the game in a negative way for them. And because he made those changes and then we got on top again, like, you know. So for me, Mikel come out top today, 8 out of 10.
Well, ask Yardman, what was it? Yardman, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yardman said give him a 9.
Okay, 9.
Because to me, it's higher than an 8. Because, you know, that change he made affected the game. That won the game. You know what I mean? So it's got to be a 9. You know what I mean? And to come to a place like Villa Park, really tough place like this, and to get a 2-0 win, clean sheet, it's gotten us off to a good start for the season. That's 9 out of 10 for me.
Manager for you?
Yeah, I'd definitely give him a 9 because, as Robbie said, you know, he makes the substitutions and it had an immediate effect. Whereas the Emery made substitutions at the same time, it had an immediate effect.
We did actually used to see that from Emery at the Emirates.
Yeah.
Where some of his changes would be like, hey. But listen, I'm not Emery's a good
manager.
He's a quality manager.
We know he's a good manager.
There's another reason why I'd like to give Arteta the mark that he did, and Emery maybe a lower mark if we're marking Emery, is because from an entertainment perspective, Arteta went to an away game to a team that was apparently one of the best teams last season. They did come fourth, and he went to win, whereas Emery went to stifle.
Okay,
I agree. Fair point. I agree with that, like, you know.
okay, and lastly, the fans today, Robbie.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The place was buzzing. It's a bank holiday weekend. It's a tough game. I mean, they were right behind the team all the way through. And when we scored, it was brilliant. I'm going to give it a 10. There was one irritating fan, who tried to come to me at half-time and tell me that because we're sitting in the front row, he said it to you as well, that we should sit down. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And even had a word with the steward. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That fan, let me describe him. He's as bald-headed. He was wearing a green Arsenal away shirt from last season. And he's very irritating sometimes. But Players edition. Which you got for free.
Has a black watch on as well.
Now, but I'm not going to count you in this, right? So it's 10 out of 10 for the fans.
10 out of 10. Agree.
Yeah, he was even saying to a woman in front of him, "Can you sit down?" so that he could sit down. You know,
No. Let me one bear it. At the end of the game, we're at the front. He goes, "I'm gonna have to move some kids out of the way to try and get a shirt."
Yeah, even that. I mean, diabolical.
Well,
I deserve that shirt just as much as the kids, and it would also fit me.
He said to me, 5 minutes to go from the end. It's tight going. He says, "I'm going to go down the front to see if I can get a shirt." Like, you know? And I'll tell you what, like, I'm not being over. I'm glad all the players didn't come over and do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I see him like, you know, pinching some kids to get out of the way and all that. Disgrace.
And then he goes to this
9
kid.
9 out of 10 for the fans today because of Julian. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, you're right. And then he goes to the kid, right? He saw the kid with a. He goes, "Oh, you got a shirt?" The kid goes, "No, it's my jacket."
Try to take it
I mean, I tell you, man, you're despicable, bro.
You're outrageous.
Outrageous.
You're so bad, but we love you. Well done to Arsenal today. What a massive win. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with the ratings? Like the video if you like the video, and we'll see you again next week against Brighton. Take care.
We've got a very special guest in the house, Josh Richardson, NBA player who plays for the Miami Heat. Who would you be in the Arsenal team?
Ben White.
So you got that little nasty streak
Yeah,
to you as well.
I'm probably a better scorer than Ben White. Like, I like to shoot a lot of threes. Theo Walcott. This guy is a burner. And I'm like, yo. I turned, I was like, bro, Theo Walcott is sitting right behind us. And they're like, who is that? And I'm like, nah, you don't get it, you don't get it, you don't get it.
Worst record in the NBA last season?
Maybe like Portland Trail Blazers.
Portland, so that's Tottenham, right?
That was a setup.